Hello, I'm still here. Uh, yeah, I, I'm doing it again, so that's a good sign. Um, on the webcam today, so no more of the shaking of the camera. Although I'm not saying that I won't do that again. Just thought I'd try this out, see how it works. Yeah, and it looks good, I think. Um, lighting works. However, as much as the camera doesn't shake, if I move my head at all to this side, you get, whoa, it's the sun. So I'll try not to move uh, my head. I don't, there, I just did it, great. Uh, Still not getting used to the idea of looking at at the camera. Continue looking at myself because I'm a narcissist. But for you, that makes me look like I'm looking down underneath your chin, you know, in a creepy way. I'm not doing that because that's not how cameras work. I can't actually see you, but you're imagining that I can. That is the magic of entertainment. Um, all right, pre-ramble done. Uh, so, yes, this um, week, this week in my life. Get your words together. This week this just happened. The week since the last time you saw me. It's not getting better, is it? This week that's just happened has been quite busy. There, got it done. Right, next sentence. I was about to say this week again. Not all sentences start with this week. Remember that. Don't point at the yeah. Yes, it's been quite busy. And I had kind of had to put recital stuff on hold. So this recital diary edition will be very lacking in the recital part. It's very much just a diary, which still makes me feel sort of sticky. Yes, no, I had to put it on hold because I suddenly found myself with a bunch of new accompaniment jobs for other people. Um, Now, I didn't have to take them on, but as some people may know, I have a problem with saying yes to too many things. But that is a problem that we can discuss for another video, not this one. Yes, anyway, I've been very busy. That's that's the gist of it. Potentially self-inflicted busyness. So I'm not going to talk too much about what I've been doing. Just something I've been thinking about. I guess it's kind of related to recital. Try and make it related. Something a bit more general and life related. Um, and yeah, I've thought about it, but I haven't really prepared this or scripted this. So it's going to be very rambly, yes. Ramble alert. Come on, I'm going to put that on t-shirt. Ramble alert. That's a thing. Yeah. That's catchy and probably suitable for any moment in my life. Ramble alert. Cool. All right, yes, ramble alert. You have been warned. This will be rambly and might not reach a conclusion. Um, yeah, so what I want to talk about today is communication, specifically communication between people, as most communication is. Um, but yeah, like as in uh, between people you know, who you interact with day to day, that kind of thing. Not like in a business capacity, just as like human beings, I guess. Human communication is, yeah, that's the key word. And I suppose the reason I've been thinking about this is due to recital and accompanying other people. I find myself having to communicate with lots of different people on a day-to-day basis in sort of differing contexts, but it's like contexts where communication is important. It's something you can't just fudge. You have to actually sort of find the right balance with things. And whether I do that is certainly up for debate. But that's true of other people, I think, as well. This is why I've been thinking about it a lot, is trying to work out this strange facet of uh, of day-to-day life, I guess. So I generally struggle with communication, specifically on a day-to-day functional level, socially kind of thing. And the main reason, amongst many others, is that I'm just a very unconventional person in the way I talk and the way I act and my views on the world and life and society in general. Um, yeah, unconventional is probably the best word for that. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's just I definitely sort of tread the line when it comes to mainstream ideals, I guess. And yes, for obvious reasons, that makes, you know, being around people, connecting with people, quite difficult because people are often just not sure what to do with me, what to make of me. But I think because I have this difficulty, I am very aware that the issue of communication exists, and I'm very conscious of it um, for everyone, both in situations that I'm involved in and situations I observe. Um, yeah, it's a really big thing that I realize it's quite a big, just from thinking about it. Like, yeah, here's a disclaimer for the rest of this ramble, which I barely got into yet. Um, I'm not going to be able to touch on everything that I want to because it's just so much. Write a whole thesis on this, but if I miss something, if it feels like I've not considered or touched on a certain element, I've probably actually thought about whatever it is that you think I might not have touched on. It's just that I'm trying to keep this vlog at a medium length and not be super boring. So I may just sort of jump all over the place and try and cover a general gist of things. Yeah. Goals. Ramble goals. There we go. Sequel t-shirt. Yeah, okay. So, communication. I feel like part of how I view talking to people and interacting with people is that one thing you have to realize is that most people, if not all people, have no idea what's going on. They're just sort of guessing a lot of the time. That's all we can really do is hope that what we're doing is right, whatever that means. And so I sort of see a lot of conversations as improv, um, certainly from my end, but also like peppered with little formulaic bits of dialogue that have just sort of popped out of social evolution and protocols that are just always going to happen as human beings. We're like, oh, this works, let's keep doing that. And that's sort of how things already feel uncomfortable is that there's a that improv with these bits and pieces that we treat as written. It's like jumping in between those. It's very confusing. At least it is for me. Some people just coasted along, and I think the reason a lot of people coast along is they're not thinking about it like I am constantly. They're not like, oh, now I'm at the improv bit, now I'm at the script bit. I mean, and then there are people who treat life as scripted generally. They have specific views of how people are meant to be, of how people should act, of what they should say when they say it, and that's fine. That's that's okay. These people are wrong. I don't want to use that word wrong. Um, even if that that idea, that scripted idea, in their heads means that if you don't follow their script, that you are a bad person. I mean, there are people like that, but that's okay. They it's not their fault. We shouldn't judge them for that. They're not wrong. I don't know what that is, right or wrong. We don't talk about that on this channel. That's my rule. No right, wrong. I'm not here for that. Um, yeah, but yeah, it's just a case of their upbringing, or maybe they've decided that that's how they prefer to live. I don't know. Um, but point is, they're doing what they need to do, which is in order to live comfortably, and that's what we're all trying to do. We do what we need to do, which is why things get really complicated between people. Is everyone's doing what they need to do, but that doesn't necessarily line up with everyone else, which fits in back with this idea that some people have scripts, some people are all improv, some people are a mixture. And then there are people like me who are constantly analyzing who's doing what and whether what I should be doing in relation to that. Um, so yeah, I think that establishes the idea that communication is just kind of a losing game. It's really, there's no way that we can sort of crack it. Um, but but that brings me to my point of how should we at least try to communicate? We shouldn't just not do it because it's so hard. Um, we should try. Um, I'd like to look at is a sort of a method that I try. I don't always get. Try is going to be a key word here. To use in all avenues of life, communication, social things, my work, my art, um, yeah, everything. I feel like this little method, this little phrase, uh, is just effective way to navigate things, and that is consider all factors. Basically, consider everything possible. Um, before you make a judgment or before you make a decision or before anything, just realize that there is a lot going on. The universe is this chaotic place. I don't specifically believe that it has a plan for anything. I think it's just a mess. And so for that reason, if you want to have any idea of what the fuck is going on at any time, you've got to consider everything that's happening, because there's no real certainty to any of it, and you've just got to work on context basically. And if you want to think about specific context, you've got to consider everything that's happening in that specific context if you want to know what that specific context means. So how does that fit in with communication? Right. So I feel like a lot of people, just as sort of routine or habit or instinct or whatever, When we're talking to each other, the main thing we're thinking of is how does this affect me? Um, what does this mean to me at the moment? What they're saying how does that make me feel, right? And so when we take that with consider all factors, that's not considering all factors. That's getting like 2% of all factors that could be considered. And that's the problem where I think we all face when communicating both effectively and a way that is useful for both people. Assuming, let's just work on the idea that we're communicating between two people, but it'll work for everyone. You're talking with someone and they say something that might make you feel uncomfortable, or you may think it's rude. Maybe they just seem like a bit of a dick. Now, the part of you that's just going, how has this affected me? Is just going, right, this person's a dick. They've hurt me. They've made me feel uncomfortable. How dare they do that? Don't they know that this conversation is about me? But I mean, when I say it like that, it's clear that this is the wrong way to go. But what's the right way to go? There's that word, right way. What's a better way to go, or a useful way to go? Consider all factors. Specifically, consider the other person. Now, this is an opinion that, or not an opinion, generally held. The world is full of dicks. There's a lot of people who just act very poorly to each other. It's not great. But, yes, there are a lot of bad people. But how many are actually deliberately bad? How many people are actually actively going out to be dicks to everyone? I don't know. Maybe it is a lot of people. Personally, regardless of whether that's true or not, I would like to believe that most people aren't doing it deliberately. And that in that context, two people talking, it's pretty likely that if someone says something that puts you off, they're not doing it deliberately. This is where consider all factors comes in. Consider, what is that person thinking about? What might that person be dealing with? Why might they have said that? It could be that they are just a dick, but if we, tap into that more positive belief that people aren't necessarily deliberately out to hurt you, then it's quite possible that they're dealing with something and they just haven't been able to filter that out of this session of communication that involves you also. They didn't mean to do it. And that's the thing, that like everyone, I don't care who you are. I'm pretty sure everyone is constantly dealing with something. Even if they seem like they've got all their shit together, something's going to be bothering them. Some dark problem is at the back of their mind, because that's sort of part of what it means to be human. Everyone's always fighting a battle that we have no idea about. But you don't need to have an idea about it. You can just take a minute to consider the fact that if you have things that bother you on a regular basis, it's quite possible that everyone else does as well. And when I say consider all factors, that's the other thing. You can consider that other person's point of view, they're dealing with stuff. They can't always be the peak of communication that you might hope for, that we all hope for and expect because of some social practice that we've all slotted into: script, improv and script, whatever. There are other things as well. Consider other factors. Maybe, I don't know, where are you? Are you sitting in an uncomfortable, hot, stuffy room? Is it, or maybe it's pouring down rain outside. Maybe there's shit happening in the world, political unrest, people are dying, things are going wrong. It's kind of hard to just be on top of it all the time when it comes to having a simple communication interaction thing between two people. Shit is happening. It's not just shit happens, shit is always happening. So this idea that we have that every conversation we have, everyone should be on point and all the information is going to get communicated. It's going to be done in the most comfortable way possible, the most polite way possible. It's just not realistic. And I mean, I say this now, and I'd hope most people would be able to agree. Yeah, this is the thing. But in the moment, how many of us are not thinking about that and have instances where they're like, how dare this person say this to me? Or like, this person's a bit rude. Well, just think. Consider all factors. It's not as bad as that. Everything is bad. Your conversation is not the thing that is bad. It's just a symptom of it. Not even a symptom. It's an innocent bystander that is going to be spoiled by the crossfire. That was weirdly poetic in a way I hadn't intended. At the end of the day, pure, effective, simple communication is impossible. That's an extreme view. If not impossible, really, just really, really difficult and unlikely. The main reason being that I see what I see, and I know what I know, and for that reason, I can never truly see what you see, and I can never truly know what you know. I hope that makes sense. It comes back to context, I guess. Trying to consider all the factors. You're trying to translate what people are saying, trying to communicate. You kind of, if you want to really, truly understand them, you kind of have to have lived their whole life. Even if they're just saying, I prefer this kind of sandwich. That's simple enough to kind of understand. But what do they mean by sandwich? You haven't lived their childhood experiences with sandwiches. You don't know about their first experience with a sandwich. Who knows? It could have been traumatizing for them. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm just trying to make a point as simple as possible. Yeah. So yeah, consider all factors. This is already all over the place. And I mean, I've spoken to people about this, and I've spoken about consider all factors, or consider other people's feelings. And some people will say, "Oh, I do that, and I can't help but go, no, you haven't, you don't." Now that sounds pretentious or obnoxious to you. Probably think, oh, he thinks that only he can do it. He's come up with this, and this is that no one else. He's better than everyone else. Only he can consider all factors. No, that's not it. The fact is, along with communication, considering all factors. is really hard and near impossible. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to do it. And that's my point. The correct answer to, did you consider all factors in this scenario? Did you consider all factors when you're communicating with this person? The answer that at least I would be looking for is, I'm trying. I'm still trying. I'm always trying. That's the only thing I'll believe. If you say I'm trying, I'll believe you. I'll back you wholeheartedly. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that rounded out to be anything, mean anything. Yeah. If you were hoping for some mind-blowing conclusion to that, I don't know if that was it. I'm not the person for that. I'm just I'm just a minor character trying to navigate the background of things. Yeah, as I said, I haven't prepared anything. I'm not sure if I've got anything else to say. I feel like the more I talk about it, the more it's just sort of going to affect me. I'm going to get emotional about it. Yeah. Just be kind to people, please. Please just be kind. Please, please, please. Please be kind. I know it's difficult, but if you think about it, it's really the most logical thing in life. Just please be kind. Okay. I don't know what this was. I hope it was endearing in some way. Next time I will hopefully not necessarily talk more about Recital. I don't know if that's why people are here, but I should at least stick to branding, Anyway, that was my thing on communication. Yeah. Yeah. I feel weird now. I don't want to just end it, but I don't know what else to say. Do you ever feel like there's just too much